The periodic table of elements. Elements are arranged in the periodic table depending on the atomic numbers and their characteristics. For example, hydrogen has atomic number 1 and it occupies the first position here. Helium is the second and occupies the second position here. Strange, you may wonder, why isn't it located here? But you will learn very soon. Do not worry. Lithium is located in this position. Then we have beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, and so on. You can have a look at the periodic table and just try to identify some of the elements and their symbols. The number that is written at the top of each box or cell is the atomic number. For example, calcium has atomic number 20. The symbol of the element is written below the atomic number, and then the name, and finally the average atomic mass. This is the mass number, which is sometimes called atomic mass. The periodic table has periods that are represented by numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It also contains what we call groups that are represented by Roman numbers. Roman numbers 1 for group 1 and Roman number 2 for group 2. We skip to the next, which is boron, which has Roman number 3, which means it belongs to group 3. Next is carbon, that belongs to group 4, and all these elements belong to group 4. The same way, all these elements belong to group 2. All these elements belong to group 1, and so on and so forth. For the periods, all these elements belong to period 2. All these elements belong to period 3. We also have the Lanthanides and the Actinides that are located between these 4 elements. As you can see, they have been zoomed out so that you can see them clearly. The reason why we've taken them aside is just to make sure that the table is not too long. Next, we have the transition metals that are elements contained in this region, including these ones. I have also noted that the elements are arranged according to their characteristics. Now the elements that are within this line, you see it is bold, but as I continue to highlight, all the elements to this side are known as non-metals, while all the other elements to this side are metals. So as you can see from the periodic table, we have a lot of information. We can just note that nitrogen is a nonmetal, and as well as another element such as beryllium, which is located in group 2 and period 2, is a metal. Now take some time to look at the periodic table from your book, or you can pause this video and just try to study the periodic table. We have already discussed the entire periodic table. Nonetheless, in a previous class, I mentioned that we are only going to talk about the first 20 elements. This part of the periodic table represents the first 20 elements and their electronic configurations. Look at beryllium. The number above the symbol Be is the atomic number. While the numbers below are the electronic configuration. And of course, Be is the symbol of the element. The periodic table has got groups and periods. The groups are numbered from 1 to 8 in Roman numbers, while the periods are numbered from 1 going on in alphanumeric numbers. For the first 20 elements, we only reach period 4. Let us discuss more about the groups. The first group is group 1. When you notice that each of these electron arrangements end with the number 1, and that is why we call this group 1. Similarly, we have group 2. All the electron arrangements end with number 2. Next is group 3 and group 4, group 5. Do you notice that each of these groups have their electron arrangements ending with the number of the group? Group 6, group 7, group 8. There's something special about group 8. You'll come to learn they are also known as group 0. With the exception of helium, all the other members have 8 electrons in their outermost energy levels, or the electron arrangements end with the number 8. Remember, these numbers represent the electrons in the energy levels. Apart from that, we have the period. We have period 1, which is composed of hydrogen and helium. Period 2, composed of lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. Notice again that each of these electron arrangements only contains 2 energy levels, the first and the second. Remember that when we are arranging the electrons, the first energy level contains a maximum of 2, and the second energy level contains a maximum of 8. So between lithium and neon, the electron arrangements are as shown, and you will notice that the electrons only cover or occupy 2 energy levels. When we move on to period 3, we have sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, and argon. Again, you will notice that each of the electron arrangements has 3 energy levels. For example, aluminium 283, phosphorus 285, and so on and so forth. When we move to period 4, which contains potassium and calcium plus other members that are above element number 20, they have 4 energy levels, as you can see. So the number of the period represents the number of energy levels.